Hey, my name is William Albritton. I just wanted to do this screencast to catch you up on what we went over at our first 10 times mastermind group meeting. So just to let you, we start off just talking about a little bit about a mastermind and what it is. A mastermind is the highest level of learning. So you can learn from seminars, lectures, books, studying, and doing. But getting together with like-minded people that push each other, that hold each other accountable, that discuss ideas and we discuss what we implement really is the highest level of learning out there. And so that's why we chose to do this. We chose people that want to grow their business 10 times. And the reason we did 10 times is because if you think about it, there's a lot of people that want to grow their business 2 to 4 times. But we can all work harder to grow our business 2 to 4 times. I can work twice as hard and increase my revenue by two. But that's not what we want. You can't get to 10 times as big just by working harder. You got to work smarter. You got to put systems in place. You have to mimic the bigger companies that are already where you want to be. So we want to surround ourselves with like-minded people. And so just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was an engineer for 10 years, got my degree in mechanical engineering. I have an MBA from Tulane, but none of that really matters because I learned everything I know from the real world, from my businesses that I've opened, and I'm by no means some super successful business person, but what I do think I'm good at is bringing the right groups of people together and facilitating a group that will hold all of us to a higher standard to get us to that 10 times level. I own 3 gyms. 2 are CrossFit gyms. One is a new gym called the Genesis Experience. And in this group, I'm focusing on the Genesis Experience. I want that to be eventually a national company. A few other things I've done. I was an investor in a company called MyFit Foods, where we opened 7 locations out in California and Phoenix. And within about a year, we sold that for 1.5 times our initial investment. So that's probably the most successful thing that I've done. But hopefully these gyms will blow that away. So what we started off doing today was each person went around the group. They told us a little bit about their business. They told us their annual sales, and they told us what their 10 times measurement is. So I want you to start thinking of this, and go ahead and grab a pen and a pad because you're going to need to write a few things down to do before we get to our next meeting. So I want you to be thinking, what does 10 times mean to you? Gary, that's in our group, owns a pizza restaurant. To him, 10 times means owning 10 different pizza locations. For me, it means owning 10 gyms. For Wayne, that's in our group, it means increasing his profit by 10 times. So what does 10 times mean to you? What are you going to measure? And we're going to measure in this group because if you can't measure change, there is no change. So be thinking, what is your 10 times? And speaking of measurements, we're going to measure this as a group. So I'm going to take everybody's 10 times measurements. We're going to put it into a number that we can count. So if you're looking at opening 10 times your stores, if you're opening up 10 times stores, how much revenue is that going to be? How much revenue will you generate? So we'll probably go off of revenue. We're all measured, but we're going to measure if we're growing 10 times as a group. After 2 quarters, we're going to measure, and hopefully we'll have maybe grown 2 times as a group. Maybe at the end of the year, we'll be up to 4 times as a group. And we're going to show each other's numbers We're going to show everybody's numbers on a chart to hold each other accountable. So you'll be able to see if Gary's growing 10 times, but I'm only growing 1.5 times. And y'all better jump in and help me to catch up with the group. If somebody's growing 15 times, we're going to jump on them, or we need them to tell us what they're doing to get that growth. Next, what we did is We went around the group and we answered 2 questions. So I want you to go ahead and answer these for yourself. The first question is, what is the number one issue holding you back from 10 times growth? And that could be customers. Maybe you don't have the customers there. It could be marketing. Maybe you have a great product, but you have no idea how to market it. Maybe your sales are not there. Maybe you don't have a good product and nobody's buying your product and you're great at marketing. So you need to increase your sales, or you need to improve your product. Maybe it's finance. Maybe you have a great product, you have systems in place, but you don't have the financing to open up 10 more locations or hire 20 more staff members. Maybe it's family. Maybe you're in a family business and you have a family member, maybe a parent that's stuck in their old ways of doing things, and you can't figure out how to develop that relationship to try some new things. So whatever it is, what is the one thing? You can only pick one thing that's holding you back from 10 times growth. Now, I want you to think about that one thing and what's holding you back from doing it or overcoming it. So if it's your brother in the business with you and he don't want to implement some of these things, or you're afraid to, like, how do you approach that? Why are you not approaching that? If you're not marketing correctly, you don't know how to market, like, why are you not hiring somebody to do that for you? But what is holding you back from doing that? So think about that a little bit, and then we have some homework for you before the next time we meet. And we'll meet in about a month, a little bit before Christmas. But your homework is, I want you to develop a business plan for that 10 times growth. And this doesn't have to be down to the minute detail. Actually, I don't want it to be down to the detail. I want it to be from a 30,000 foot elevation. So right now my plan is to get the systems in place for the Genesis Experience Gym in Alexandria. My next step is going to be to open one in Lafayette or Baton Rouge, but another city, learn how to manage that from afar, and then go into opening up 8 times. And in my business plan, I'll need to describe how I'm going to do that. How am I going to get financing to open it up 8 times, 8 more locations. So just that. It's going to be a verbal business plan. You can use props. You can use a PowerPoint, or you can just stand up there and tell us. And then we're going to ask some difficult questions about your business plan. We're going to poke holes in it. And this group is about accountability. We're not wasting each other's time. We're going to hold each other accountable. We have a duty to each other to say why your plan is not going to work, or why we don't think it's going to work, or why didn't you think of this. I want this group to have some difficult, even confrontational conversations, because that's how we're going to grow. And more on the line of that, today we talked about some things that we're going to do within the next month. And if we get to the next meeting and I haven't done this promo that I said I'm going to do, I need somebody to ask me, William, why didn't you do that? If Gary doesn't do the pizza promo that we talked about, we're going to ask them, why did you not do that? So we're going to have accountability in this group. And then I'm just going to end with, so develop a business plan for the next course. And I want you to read the book E-Myth Revisited. For some of you, it's going to be very mind-blowing, and you're going to be like, this is awesome. This is like completely changed my way of thinking. Some of you already think like that, so it may be somewhat elementary for you. If it is elementary, it can be a very quick read. You can just basically skim through it, maybe just slow down on some new parts. You will get some new information out of it. But the reason I want you to read that book is I want us to all be on the same page. Reading that book is going to get you into the 10 times mindset and how to do that. So do read that book. It's called E-Myth Revisited. So that's your 2 homeworks. Business plan, read e-book, E-Myth Revisited. And now I'm going to end with just telling you what we're going to be doing over the next few months. We talked about the business plan. Probably every 6 months we're going to revisit that business plan, represent, and again, hold each other accountable. What has changed in our business plan? What were we going to do that we didn't do? Why didn't we do it? And that our business plan should change. Hopefully in this group will change it. Um, Another thing we'll be doing is reading books and actually taking actions through those books. So one really good book on marketing is No BS Marketing by Dan Kennedy. One month we'll probably take that book, read the key chapters in that, and write up an ad and actually put money into this ad in our markets and come back and report how that ad worked. We're going to write it exactly like the book tells us to. We're going to measure it and track the results exactly like the book tells us to. One month we'll do something called a hot seat, where you tell us your best idea for business growth, or something you're going to do this month, or something you're going to do over the next year. We're going to put you in a seat, and for 20 minutes we're going to shoot ideas at you, and you're not allowed to talk. All you can do is sit there and take notes. And if you missed today, there's a lot of good ideas thrown around. So I think that's something that's going to be very, very beneficial. Everybody I see in this group, I know I've spoken with you at least a few times on occasion, and there's some really good ideas that come out of all of this. Um, and then one month we'll even mimic a company, and actually we'll probably do this over the long term. So we were talking with Gary, who has Wildwood Pizza, and we were trying to think of a company that's similar to him that's already big time, like I think it was called Panera Bread. So eventually Gary needs to go find that company and study that company. What do they do, and why are you not doing that, or why? What are you doing? Just really mimic the company. That's just some of the things we'll be doing over the next few months. We need you to be there at this next meeting, because, like, without people there, we really can't grow. Some of these meetings you may get a lot out of. Another meeting, it may be all you giving, but we need you there to give to the group, and you need to be there to learn from the group. So I'll be sending you an email about next time we're going to meet.